Okay, well, I want to talk to you about the Ballerina farm controversy, that people just realize that she is fake, that she's wearing designer clothes, that she's not really living this lifestyle every single day, that this is just marketing and things like that. Like, you gotta understand that social media is not a real life. Social media is social media, and people who are making content on social media are making content for people to watch it and to be like, for people to be interested in that. So if you really will show your true life, what you do every single day, it would be like boring. But I see a lot of content creators who are showing their normal, regular lives, but but the thing is, they got famous with showing something else. They didn't get famous because they were showing their real everyday lives. They got famous because they did something else, and later in a process where they were already famous, they decided to show you a little bit of their private lives, which I don't really believe it's like 100% authentic and real. So you guys are having a problem with somebody who just told you that this is like a marketing thing. And absolutely, a lot of people are doing that on social media. Nothing wrong with that. I think the problem is when people are saying, like, this is how I live every single day. This is my real life. You gotta really believe me, because this is how I live, like, every single day. And this is the problem. Like, people are believing that this person is telling the truth, and now later they find out that, somebody's lying. But when you don't really give that message, that this is like 100% how you live every single day, that you, for example, make everything from scratch for your kids or whatever, that you wearing this designer, clothes to cook, or you just are a farmer, and in reality you're very rich. Just people knew she's rich. And, if people knew she's rich, they also should know that she's not really living this way. And, I think the problem here is that she sometimes said that this is how she lives for real every day. Okay? I think people have problem because she said that. But to me, it's like, if you really believe everything you see on social media, I think that this is on you. Like, when you believe in everything that you see and everything that somebody says to you on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, if you believe in it, that's, I think, your problem. Because whatever you see on the internet, you cannot take this personally. You cannot really believe in it. People are doing crazy stuff to be famous on social media. And there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, you gotta be authentic to be successful on social media. And that's not true. You gotta pretend that you are authentic. Your content has to be shown as authentic. It doesn't really have to be authentic. So, these people have resources. They are rich. They can buy this house and pretend that they are just normal, regular people who work full-time jobs. But in reality, they are millionaires. So they have money and assets to really afford this kind of a house and restore it, in this style, to make it look like it's old, to make it look like it's just old. So you would believe, oh, millionaires would never live in that house because it looks old. Like, this is how most people are thinking. This is like the mindset of some people. So you believe in everything that you see, and then you start comparing yourself to these people, and then you start thinking to yourself that you are a loser because you don't have this kind of a lifestyle, and you would like to have this kind of lifestyle, that you would like to have this kind of success on social media as these people have. Then you start comparing yourself and thinking somebody have a better life, better lifestyle, but you don't really know what's going on in somebody's life. For example, Ballerina farm. Maybe, it's not the way you think it is. I know it's marketing. I know it's content creation. But you don't really know how she lives, and you don't really know how everyone who's famous on TikTok and YouTube lives in a real life. But the one thing is truly important. Nothing that you see on social media is 100% real. It's not a real life. It's a little bit faked. so you can watch it and being interested in that. What I'm saying is comparing yourself to these people, comparing your life to their lives when you don't really know how they live is pointless. And basically, you're just torturing yourself thinking that somebody has better success and better life and all of that. If in reality, you don't even know if it's real or not. It can just be like maybe somebody has a company and shooting these videos, whatever it is, you don't really know. So you got to keep in mind that everything you see on social media is a little bit faked, because it's so stupid to really show people your real life, your real emotions all the time, every single day, every single time you post something. That's stupid, because you would say all of those things and show your private life to a random people on the internet. And there's a lot of crazy people on the internet all around the world. So why would you do that? You can't really be upset about somebody having this business idea and have this marketing. They are rich. They can afford anything they like. They can afford this house. They can afford workers. They can afford anything. So they could afford a success on social media because their videos were very interesting to watch, because they have this beautiful house, and because, she cooks the way she cooks. Like, normal person wouldn't have time to shoot these videos, because one, you would shoot it all by yourself because you cannot afford somebody to do it for you. You would have to edit it by yourself. You would have to cook these meals, and it takes hours to cook it sometimes. So if you are working like a regular job from 9 to 5, it would be very difficult for you to do that, because it takes a lot of time, money, just resources, a lot of time. It's like an energy. It's when you're working a normal regular job, it's going to be very difficult for you to have that kind of content. And this is like the content that people are very interested in. When they see somebody on the farm, this beautiful young woman, she dressed in this dress and she has a lot of kids, and you see, every single time she posts a video, it's her cooking from scratch. You would be very interested in that. How is she doing that with so many kids? You would start to maybe, and she really like showed herself as this regular wife. And I was watching her videos. Now I'm watching her videos, and I'm like, she looks so tired. She looks like she is struggling with something. She looks like she cooks every day, like she's stuck in the kitchen and cooks for everyone and no one really helps her. It looks that way, and it was intentional to make it look that way, for you to subscribe, for you to watch, so they can make money and sell you something. And the whole controversy just exploded when she wanted to sell this cutting board, which was very expensive. I don't really remember the price, but I remember it was very expensive, and people just got upset that how can you sell this, cutting board in such a price. It's like they created this content to make her look tired and struggling, for you to believe in her, for you to subscribe, for you to buy, her stuff. And it really worked. And people who were already millionaires are even richer right now, because it works for you. You want to see a normal, regular life, but you want to see it through some filter. You don't really want to see a normal, regular life because you already live in it. So you don't really want to see it. You want to see like a fairy tale of a normal, regular life, which is not true, and it's fake. And now you are upset that she is fake and she's not really living this life. Of course she's not. She's a millionaire. She's going to enjoy life because she has nannies, she has workers, she has everyone to help. She's not really stuck in the kitchen all day. And once she said that she doesn't really cook every day from scratch. So people are telling you the truth, and you don't want to listen. You don't want to listen because you are really struggling, and you are really looking for a connection, and you are really looking for something like, oh, these millionaires are living their normal lives, And they are also struggling, even though they are millionaires. No, they are not struggling. They wanted you to believe in that so they can monetize their content, but they not really living it. You want to believe that there's somebody else struggling as you. You want to believe that these millionaires, even though they have tons of money, are struggling. So you can see a hope for yourself. So you can see something and connect to somebody. And I think that's the issue. You're supposed to do in that situation. Every time you see something on social media, don't really believe that this is 100% true and accurate. No, it's not. And you gotta remember that every single time you're going through social media. Don't take anything personally. Don't believe in anything 100%. Don't really compare yourself to people that you see on internet, because that's pointless, and you're going to be depressed and you will become bitter because you see these people on the internet having success, money, whatever, and they're doing what they want. But then you look at your life and you see that you cannot do some of those things, and you feel like a loser. But this is not a real life. On social media is not a real life. You don't really know how they live, what kind of relationships they have with each other. Anyways, this is my message. Do not believe in anything that you see on social media. Social media for millions of people are just a business. It's a business money. That's it. And you don't have to be upset. Just focus on yourself as always. Thank you. Bye.